YouTube, Makki Vapes here, back again for another e-liquid review on an e-liquid that I purchased for the purposes of this review. Mason's Drop Wafer 4, 50-50 blend, 50 ml bottle, 12 milligrams of nicotine. Using the D Pro Mini, sitting on top of Geek Vapes, Aegis Legend Mod, vaping at 29 watts, 0.48 ohms, 3.73 volts. Let's give her a go. Alright, so as the name states, it's a Wafer 4, and to be honest, man, that's what you get from the get-go. It tastes like a Kit Kat, but without the chocolate covering on top of it, or like all over it. So, or something else, wait, it kind of tastes like that hazelnut wafer that you get from the Middle East. Picture right here. If you guys know this, then you know what I'm talking about. And the overall mouthfeel, man, it's like it coats your mouth really well, so it's pretty solid. I mean, like, I haven't rated an e-liquid with a 10, but this gets a 10, more in that later. So again, the flavor is like solid wafer, and so that gets a 10, even though it's a 50-50 blend. I mean, like, you guys saw the clouds. I'm vaping her at 29 watts, 0.48 ohms, 3.73, and the cloud production, even though it's a 50-50 blend, it's pretty solid. I mean, like, another cloud check. Here you go. And I'm just using a simple fuse Clapton 28 gauge, wires by DC Wires, picture up here. Not sure if you guys can see that. 5 wraps, 3.5 mm ID. Fresh build because I just re-wicked it. I mean, like, I used it for like a good solid week, and it was still performing pretty well. And clouds. It gets a solid 9.8, even for a 50-50, not a 10, but a 9.8. So picture again right here. Not sure if you guys can see this, but pretty solid. So in flavor, regardless of your atomizer or your build, I mean, like, I've used it on an Entheon right here, and a Hadley right here, and I've used it on a Dead Rabbit SQ. So far, it's been working really well with the D Pro Mini, the Dead Rabbit SQ, and the Entheon. Yeah, I know a previous video I said this was a Hadley, but nah, I got it mixed up because I was like, I don't know, forgot, but Hadley and Entheon, the difference. So Entheon and the Dead Rabbit SQ and the D Pro Mini, it works best on those atomizers right there. So again, 10 on flavor, 9.8 on clouds for like Mason's Drop. So I don't know, man, I don't know what to say. I've tried this in the 3, 6, and the 12, and when I'm using a 12, it lasts for about 2 weeks, so it's pretty solid. I mean, if you're using this probably with a Berserker 1.5 mini, the 12 milligram could like last you, let's say, probably 3 weeks. If you're using a 30 ml bottle with Salt Nick, probably like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. tops maybe. But overall, it's pretty solid. I mean, like, flavor again gets a 10. Cloud production, even with that simple fused Clapton, it gets a solid 9.8, even though it's a 50-50. So price, I got this at Vapetronics for 300 pesos. And shout outs to my homies at Vapetronics for like keeping it on hand. I mean, like, this is no way a sponsored video, but they were like carrying it. And shout outs to my homies in the Armory Vape Shop in Carmen as well. Map right here and address, along with Vapetronics, and they're carrying this e-liquid as well. Not quite sure on how much they sell it, but probably somewhere around the 250 or 300 peso mark. So overall, it's a pretty enjoyable vape. The mouthfeel is on point, flavor is on point, cloudage is on point. Cloud check again, 29 watts, 0.48 ohms, 3.74 volts. Vapors, I mean, like, solid man. Flavor, vapor, mouthfeel, and even though it's a 12 milligram, it doesn't hurt your throat as much. I mean, like, probably with like seasoned vapors who are more into like a restricted vape. So I got this on 3 holes. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. 3 holes. Closing it up to like 2. Still enjoyable. Closing the air hole to like 1. Not sure if you guys can see that, but it's 1. So there you go. I mean, like, with 1 air hole, it's pretty harsh, but the flavor is still there. So I would recommend this with like a more restricted RDA or RTA, and overall it's pretty solid. I mean, like, if you guys are on the lookout for like a pastry flavored e-liquid that's more leaning towards the wafer side, Mace's Drop, pretty solid. Wafer 4, 10 out of 10 in flavor, again 9.8 in cloud production. You could get this for like 300 pesos Vapetronics over there at Pavilion Mall, Greenfield District. Not sure if it's like Pasig or like Mandaluyong, I'm not really sure, but you could also get this from the Vape Armory, the Armory Vape Shop, I mean, in Carmen. Not quite sure about the price, but map right there. And overall, again, pretty enjoyable, pretty solid vape. So again, if you guys are on the lookout for Mace's Drop, for an e-liquid that tastes more like a wafer, Mace's Drop, Wafer 4. This is your boy Makki Vapes telling y'all to keep on vaping. Long live the Republic. Deuce deuce.